So, welcome back everyone, and today we're going to be discussing the exercises of the chapter sets that we had done, a very long time ago. Now, I know it's been a really long time, like I made the exercises, I made the theory, and now we're going to go through the exercises. So for all of you who are really following, I'm going to be doing, I'm going to put the exercise, I'm going to be doing exercise 1.1, okay? So I'm going to start with exercise 1.1. So it's exercise 1.1 of set theory. Now for all of you people who don't know which book I'm following, I'm basically doing the exercises from the most basic book. I'll write it here. It is class 11, okay, NCERT. I'll just write it down so that you don't forget. So basically, everyone knows that there's one standard textbook for class 11 NCERT. So I'm going to be solving the exercises. So basically what I'm doing is, if you have the textbook right in front of you, I'm just going to be discussing the answers, So I'm just going to be discussing the answers. So I won't be writing the question down, it will be a waste of time. So why don't we get started? So let's start with question 1. So basically question 1 is completely very basic. Now before I get started with it, let me just give you a few ideas. So this first exercise is a very simple exercise. There's no mathematics required, but the problem is your analytical ability should be very, very good to figure out, to figure out the answer. So basically, let me just give you some pointers that I gave in the introduction. So guys, anything which can be counted, anything which is a finite set or anything that can be counted, is considered a collection of a set. Or in another way, anything which is common sense or common knowledge, that is also a set. Okay? So things, anything which is a fact or any things which are facts, will basically be a collection of a set. So I'll give you an example, then I'll get on with the exercise. For example, if I say the greatest animals on this earth, so I'll have a different list, my friend will have a different list, this person will have a different list, so that will not count as a collection. A collection is anything, guys, which is common sense or common knowledge, like everyone knows, or any set, which can be countable. Or any set which can be countable. And then the other thing, so let's just get started and then I'll continue telling you everything else. So the answer to the first question, the answer to the first one is yes. Okay? Okay? This is the answer to the first one. Let's write the answers and then we'll discuss them slowly. So, and then obviously the second one is no. Okay? Third one is also no. Okay? Fourth one is yes. Okay? And then again the fifth one is yes. And then the sixth one is yes. And then the seventh one again is yes. Okay, and then the last one is no. Okay, so this is basically the first question or the first exercise. So now what I'm going to do is, why don't I just discuss it with you? It would be much easier, much faster. So let's have a look. So for all of you who don't know, I'm using this book. Now basically it will be a blue book that you might have, especially if you're in a government school. But guys, the syllabus is the same. The syllabus is the same. It's NCERT. If the table of contents is like this, you'll already know. It's a common book, guys. It's the most basic book. For those of you who are watching from other parts of the world, you'll know. So, okay. So this is the first question, guys. This one right here. I know you guys already know, but just to tell you which book I'm using. Now from this page, you'll know which book I'm using. So basically, guys, the question asks, which of the following are sets? Justify your answer. So it says the collection of all months of a year beginning with letter J. Now I think that's pretty easy. We all know it. Okay, you can ask anyone, even someone who's drunk, I'm sure will eventually figure this out. So this is it. So it's a set. We already know. So now the collection of most, now the second one, okay guys, the collection of most talented writers of India. Now this one is not a set, guys. Reason being because, come on, there are so many writers. Everyone will have a different list. Like I can have a list, I can have a list where I say Prem Chand, or I say Khushwant Singh, I say Chetan Bhagat, Ravi Subramanian, Amish Tripathi. Someone else can have another list. Someone else can have another list, saying Rabindranath Tagore, or Mr. Vikas Pruthi, or Salman Rushdie. Everyone can have a different list. There's no common knowledge or common sense, in this. Although it can be counted, it just doesn't make sense. And then the third one is a team of 11 best cricket batsmen of the world. Okay. Now again, it's the same thing here. Everyone will have a different list of 11 batsmen. Okay. No one is going to have the same list. Everyone has a different opinion, a different justification for this. So again, it's again Goldilocks and the Three Wolves for the third one. Now the collection of all boys in your class. So okay, this one I think is quite obvious. Obviously there are going to be a limited number of boys in a class, and obviously everyone in the class will know their name. So anyone who doesn't, who's in a different class, I feel sorry for them, but this one is a set. This is definitely a set. It's countable also, because you know the number of boys, and everyone will know what their names are. And if they don't know, they'll ask them, and everyone will end up with the same collection. So this is a set. Okay? This is the fourth one. So now the next one is the collection of all natural numbers less than 100. Again, guys, this is obviously yes, and you know why. You know what natural numbers are, you know what less than 100 is. If I have to spoon feed you on this one, well, I feel very sad. But let's move on now. The collection of novels written by the writer Prem Chand. Now, obviously everyone knows how many novels he's written, and no one's a fool who's going to keep on, making up books that he's written. They all know what books he's written, and if they don't know, they'll look it up and they'll all end up with the same answer. So, this is it. Now, guys, a collection of all even integers, guys. Now, the collection of all even integers, guys, it is, this is quite controversial, the collection of all even integers. But the thing with this, guys, is it goes on forever. And because everyone knows the collection of all even integers, so that is why this is also a set. Because everyone is going to have the same set of even integers. Even integers is a fact. It's not a matter of your opinion or your choice. It's a fact. It's common sense. It's common knowledge. And then again, the next one, collection of different problems in this chapter. Okay, so all of you will already know that. And then the last one, a collection of the most dangerous animals of the world. Now, guys, this cannot be possible. Reason being is, how many dangerous animals are there? You have dangerous animals of all types. Reptiles, amphibians, I don't know, I don't want to get into all that, but that's just how it is. So now let's move on to the next question. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So number 2. So I'm sure this exercise is quite self-explanatory for you. So when I mean self-explanatory, like all I need to do is just give you the answers. So I just written this as well. So let's just write this as well. So this is the first one, guys. First one is an element, okay? Or let me just erase this. You know, it doesn't really make sense. Doesn't make sense having something like this on the board. Now you already know which book it is. So. Oh God, I talk too much and I work less. I guess I have to. So anyways, let's go. So number 2. So number 1. Okay, number 1 is an element. Number 2 is not an element. Number 3. Okay, number 3 is not an element again. Number 4 is an element. Okay. Number 5 is an element. And then number 6. 6 is an element again. So I'm sure all of you know why they're elements and why they are not. I'm sure you guys 100% know this. So no need for me to explain this to you at all. No need for me to explain this to you at all. I'm 100% sure about that. So I'll just leave this. There. Okay. So let's move on to number 3, guys. So for number 3, let's do the first one. So don't worry, I'll help you in this one. So you already have the stipulation. I'm giving you the answer. So here you have it: -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this is it. I apologize for the lack of space. Well, I think I'm just going to remove this again. Guys, this is one thing which is really hard. It's hard to figure out whether I should really keep this on or not, but I guess I'll just erase it all the time. It's more convenient. Okay? So I'm going to start here again. Yeah, this is going to take a while. So A is -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now don't worry, for those of you who do not really have any book right now, I will come back with the exercises and the theory again once I'll have it with the questions as well, so you don't need to worry about that. That's gonna happen very soon. So the second one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm assuming you guys already know what the questions are. So what is C, guys? So guys, C, okay. So basically in C, they're just asking you in how many ways can you write the sum of the number 8. Okay, so let me just explain this to you. This might not make sense. So you have 8 here, or let me do it here. Okay, you have 8 here, right? So guys, look, you have 1 plus 7, 2 plus 6, 3 plus 5. Okay, 3 plus 5, and then you have 4 plus 4, okay, and then you have 5 plus 3, okay, then you have 6 plus 2, and then 6 plus 2 you have 7 plus 1, and then you have 8 plus 0, okay. So these are all the ways you can actually write it. These are all the ways you can actually write it. Okay, now the thing with me here was, guys, I was going to get this answer completely wrong. Guys. You know that? Because I had left out 44 in the answer that I have written. I had left out 44 in the answer that I had written. So basically, it was not a bad idea reading it again, but I had to eventually tell you how you got there. Although this question is very easy, it was important for me to tell you how this answer was figured out, because for those of you who are weak, it would not have been obvious. But anyways, those of you who are weak, it would not have been that obvious. But anyways, those of you who did figure it out, because it is easy, you did figure it out before I told you, congratulations. Okay, so now these two are completely awesome, guys. These two, okay, so you have E equals. So remember what I told you guys, that repetition is not allowed. So the theory here will finally help you. Now guys, it doesn't matter whether